Hey everybody, this is Tony, Tank the Lord A7, and I have a very small collection update to show everyone. I know it's been a while since my last collection update, but I picked up a few CDs recently, and most of them came out late last year, so yeah, this is not really a really huge collection update, just like 5 CDs, but I figured why not show them off? So here's a small little collection update from yours truly. So let's begin. The first CD that I'm going to show off is from a band that I've heard about, and this band and this band and this band's album that came out last year was getting a lot of hype and a lot of praise. So I didn't manage to pick it up until recently, and that's Castle Rats The Bestery. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of positive reviews about Castle Rat's second album, The Bestery, and I didn't manage to pick up you know, until recently. And I think the praise and positivity around this album is very deserving. As this album blends heavy metal, doom metal, and some stoner rock metal elements, and has some very solid riffs that really drives this album to new heights, in my opinion. For being my first time listening to Castle Rat, this album definitely took me a bit of a surprise by how good it is. Like it's very riff driven and got some really solid songs on most of these on most of this album. I'm not really familiar with the debut album, but the second album from Castlerat definitely won me over, and it's a very good album. So yeah, Castlerat's The Bestery is definitely a very solid heavy metal, doom metal, stoner metal album all in one, and definitely a band that I should check out more from. So yeah, really glad to pick up Castlerat's The Bestery. Very solid album and very deserving of all the praise it got last year. Okay, next up is a band that I've always known about, always heard about them, but with this new album out from them, I figured this was the best time to check them out and give them a listen, and they definitely won me over. And that's Tail Gunner's new album, Midnight Bliss. Yeah, Midnight Bliss by Tail Gunner. Again, Tail Gunner are a band I've always known about, I always heard about them, but with the new album Midnight Blitz at my that I found at my local record store, I figured I might as well just pick up and a give them a listen. And this is just some solid fist in the air head banging heavy metal that really transport you back to the 80s. Like Till Gunner just plays that 80s style heavy metal to a T and do it brilliantly. I can't really compare this album to the previous releases because this is my first real introduction to the band, but Midnight Bliss is just a solid anthemic, a solid anthemic fist in the air, balls to the wall 80s inspired heavy metal album that just absolutely rocks. And why the blend of 80s heavy metal is not really new per se, they just do it so well that I just can't help but find this album so fun and enjoyable. And yeah, Tail Gunner definitely won me over, and Midnight Bliss is just a solid heavy metal album overall. If you haven't heard of this band, I definitely recommend check out Tail Gunner and the new album Midnight Bliss. Such an excellent 80s inspired heavy metal. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, the next album is from a very famous band that everybody should know about. And apparently, this new album's gotten a lot of mixed reviews, but I figured seeing that this is the last album that they're going to put out before they, you know, split, hang in, and just break up, basically, I might as well just pick it up. So it's Megadeth's self-titled album. I don't think Megadeth needs any introduction. They're like the most influential heavy metal thrash metal band from the 80s, and yeah, Megadeth. Everybody should know this band by now, and this is apparently the last final studio album before calling it quits. And the self-titled album has gotten a lot of mixed reviews, but after giving this album a couple of listens, I've grown to enjoy it for what it is. While I don't think this album is perfect by any means, I think this album is not as bad as people made it out to be. I think this is a pretty decent, pretty solid heavy metal album, and it's definitely an album that you really need to listen, let it grow on you, give it a couple more listens, and just kind of let your expectations um go down a bit and just listen to it with an open mind. And yeah, I think this is a decent, solid heavy metal album from Megadeth. While this album is not like the most grandiose, most amazing way to end their career, I think Megadeth did pretty well with this self-titled album, and yeah, it's not a bad, decent way to go. So yeah, Megadeth's self-titled albums, it's a it's an okay album. It's good for what it is, and it could have been way worse. So yeah, Megadeth's self-titled album, a decent, solid heavy metal album overall. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Okay, next up is from a death metal band that I've always known about. I always heard about them. Haven't really kept up with this band for a long time, but I figured seeing that I saw the latest album at my local record store, I might as well pick it up. So it's Revocation's latest album, New Gods, New Masters. Yeah, Revocation are a technical death metal band that I've always known about, but I haven't really kept up with what they've been doing lately. And New Gods, New Masters is the latest album from them that I decided to pick up and check out and hear what I've been missing from this band. And yeah, this album is just very fast, intense, and very riff centric. And the guitar playing is just nuts. At least to my ears, it's just insane how good this album is. This is kind of technical, progressive death metal, whatever you call it. It's just a very fun, insane, and just one intense release. And yes, and yeah, I haven't really kept up with this band all that much, so I can't really compare this album to the previous releases. But New Gods, New Masters is just a solid technical death metal album that once in a while has some progressive moments here and there, at least to my ears. But yeah, this is just a very fast, aggressive, and just a heaviest balls album. And yeah, it's just a really enjoyable release from Revocation, and New Gods, New Masters, just an excellent album from them. And really glad to pick this album up. So yeah, this is some really good stuff. So that's Revocations, New Gods, New Masters. An excellent release from last year. And the last album that I'm going to show off is from a heavy metal singer that I haven't been keeping track with, but seeing found this album pretty cheap at my local record store, I might as well just pick it up, and Danzig's 3 How the Gods Kill. Now, if you don't know Glenn Danzig, he used to be the former singer for the Misfits before going on his own solo career and basically concentrate his solo stuff on being just as heavy metal and hard rock and I haven't really kept up with Danzig's solo album all that much, but I found this album cheap at my record store, so I figured why not pick it up and I think Danzig's 3 How the Gods Kill is a pretty solid hard rock heavy metal album that definitely has its bluesy moments, has some blues rock um influence influences here and there, but the real star of this album is Danzig during his prime with his unique, powerful vocals. Yeah, early Danzig really showcases more operatic, powerful vocals, and this album is no exception. His powerful vocals is definitely the highlight on this album, but musically, it's a good, solid heavy metal, hard rock, rock, yeah, a good, solid heavy metal hard rock album with some blues rock elements. And this is a good album from Danzig. And I think his early Danzig solo albums are where it's at, and this is definitely up there as one of his best. So yeah, Danzig's 3 How the Gods Kill is a solid album from Glenn Danzig. And and that's pretty much all I can say about it. It's a solid album, so I'm glad to pick this one up. So that's Danzig's 3 How the Gods Kill. And that's it. That's my small little collection update. Hopefully everyone enjoys it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And don't know when my next video is going to be, but hopefully everyone enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching.